Jessica Lynn Dye, 26-00146, Harrisburg.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Assistant Prosecutor Attorney Dan Smith appearing on behalf of the people of the state of Michigan.
Kyle Strobridge on behalf of Ms. Bai.
Okay, this was the date that was scheduled for a preliminary examination. There was also a motion that was filed. The defense filed a motion to suppress the evidence and dismiss the case. The people filed a response. My understanding is that we have officers present to take testimony on the arguments. Is that correct?
That is my understanding.
Yes.
Any preliminary matters before we proceed?
Your Honor, we just asked that if it's for just judicial economy, for that after the evidentiary hearing, if you could rule on the bind over matter, so we don't have to reschedule testimony.
We're doing it all today.
Okay.
This is why you wouldn't.
That was my request, Your Honor. Hear all the testimony and then rule separately on the motion.
Sounds good. I'm sure it's all the same information.
That's
So,
correct.
thank you. You can proceed.
The people call Stephanie Randall.
Do we have more than one witness in the courtroom? Oh, other right hands? Please solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury. Yes. Okay, you can have a seat. You can state your first and last name and spell both.
Stephanie Randall. It's SEFANIERANDALL.
If there's a microphone that's in front of you, that microphone will not amplify your voice. So if you can keep your voice as loud as possible, that would be great. If either of the attorneys make an objection, you will stop speaking immediately. I will make a ruling on that objection, and then I will tell you if you're allowed to answer your question or not, okay?
Okay.
If you have a question posed to you that calls for a yes or no answer, you must answer yes or no. No head nods, head shakes, because we can't articulate that into the record. So if you forget, I'll just ask you if that's a yes or no, okay? Okay, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Randall. How are you? Good. Good. I know it's a little bit of a bummer to be in court under these circumstances, but I'm hopefully get you out of here pretty quick, and let's just talk about the matter that brings you to court today, right? So first, I want to start off by asking, on November 9th of 2025, were you involved in an accident that was near Martin Luther King and Olds Avenue?
Yes.
And can you tell us, can you describe for us, just in your own words, what happened at that accident?
I had just picked up my wife from work, and we were driving. I just glanced down at my speedometer, and I looked up and collided with the person who ran the stop sign.
Okay. And did this accident happen in the city of Lansing?
Yes.
Ingham County?
Yes.
State of Michigan?
Yes.
Okay. And where were you going to? You said you just picked up your wife?
Yes.
Where were you guys going, heading to after you picked her up?
Excuse me? Can you speak up a little bit for me?
I'm sorry. We were going home.
And you said the individual ran the stop sign? And then you said you...
Don't object to that speculation, whether she ran it or stopped and proceeded.
Call speculation.
Speculation.
Okay. Did you see her run the stop sign, ma'am?
Yes, because when I glanced up, I saw her going much faster, and I didn't have time to stop.
You saw her going much faster?
Yes, she was fast. Like, she didn't stop at the stop sign, and there was me and a bunch of other cars behind us. It was a one-way street, and I just saw her go right in front of us.
Okay, so your testimony is that you were able to visualize her as she approached the stop sign, and then
Sorry.
Well, you gotta wait until she starts.
as she approached the stop sign, and that you also visualized her just not stop and continue to go through, or did you take your eyes off her and the next thing you noticed is that she was through the stop sign?
I had glanced down at my speedometer and looked up and just saw the car, SUV, going past the stop sign.
So did you see her stop at the stop sign or no?
Did you see her prior to her getting to the stop sign?
I had saw the car on Old Road because I was one of the first cars in like the wall of traffic. And when I glanced down, I had made sure everything was fine, glanced down, glanced up, and that's when I signed on the brakes.
I'm going to sustain the objection because I believe it does cause for speculation.
And the individual that you saw in the SUV, is that individual present in court today?
I don't know. I never saw it.
Okay. Okay. So after the individual came to the stop sign, what happened next?
I remember the impact. And then somebody was talking to me. I think it was the other lady that got hit. I just remember trying to get out of the car. I thought it was on fire. I didn't have my glasses on anymore. And I couldn't see very good. I tried to get out of the car. And that's when my lady broke in. And then the paramedics got me into the ambulance.
Take a minute if you need me, okay?
Sorry.
No problem. I know it's hard to recount that, so just take a minute.
Answering the question.
Yeah, no problem. So as a result of the accident, did you sustain an injury?
Yes. My tibia, I had an open fracture of my tibia and my tibia.
And were you transported to the hospital as a result of the accident?
Yes.
And how long were you in the hospital?
A week. About a week. On the 10th, I had surgery.
Speak
I'm
up.
so sorry.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
it was a week.
Okay. And what type of surgery did you have?
They put a rod through my tibia and just rod and screws and where the bone had come out.
And you were in the hospital for a week, you said?
The first time. The second time I was in for another week because I got an infection from where the bone had broken the skin. So we had to do another surgery.
And how long were you in the hospital that time?
Also,
A week. Right? And I would imagine this was very painful.
Objection. Speculation.
I think that's a question,
It's
though.
not a question.
Yeah, is it a question?
Was this the breaking of your leg? Was that painful?
yes.
So at this time, have you healed from the accident?
I'm still going for physical therapy, and I have another appointment with my ortho and disease specialist on Tuesday.
Did you were you prescribed any medication based off of?
Yes, I had to have a picoline for 6 weeks for the antibiotics for the Staphylococcus aureus that I got from the initial break.
And how's
Yeah, that's a nasty injury.
the accident affected your life?
It's changed pretty much everything. I haven't been able to function like normal. I just now started walking without a cane.
Take your time.
It's changed everything. They getting dressed. And it's a day by day thing, but even though it's been 6 months, it's still hard to sometimes get up, do little things, even if it's going to get a drink of water. Being in a car is terrifying.
And last question, how long is they say the rehab for your break? How long is that?
I have, they reevaluate me every 4 weeks. But so far it's been ongoing to February.
So there's no definite date.
No,
Okay, no further questions.
I have no questions, Your Honor.
Okay, you made the excuse me, I'm thinking, thank you. It's part of us with this.
People call Officer Hayden Hyatt. There's a black chair. She was regularly not seated.
You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give us the truth and the whole truth under penalty of perjury.
yes, ma'am.
United States. You state your first and last name and spell both.
First name is Haven, last name is Hyatt, H-A-V is in Victor, E-N is in Nora, H-I is in Ida, A, 2 T's is in Tom.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Hyatt, I understand that you were recently married.
Yes.
Congratulations. So hopefully we'll be able to get you back out of here pretty quickly, and so you can continue that honeymoon period. So I'm going to need to
Are you on the
body
Zoom?
camera.
Are you on the Zoom?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. See,
Officer Hyatt, are you currently employed?
I am,
And where are you employed?
Lansing Police Department,
How long have you been a police officer with Lansing Police?
almost 2.5 years.
And what are your duties as a Lansing Police?
I'm a patrol officer, so I respond to calls on the road, whether it be trouble subjects, crashes, anything of that nature.
And do you have any experience with OWI investigations?
I do.
Can you tell us about your, do you have any training with the OWIs?
Yeah, I am a ride certified.
Tell the court what that is.
So basically, it's just a certification that takes you through extra steps on how to investigate an OWI. It just goes through and makes sure that you're certified through Michigan standards.
And when were you last certified in that?
Last year.
Last year? Okay. And how do you know how long that certification lasts for?
I don't.
Or, okay. So I'm going to direct your attention to November 9th, 2025. Were you on duty on that day?
I was.
Did your tour of duty take you to the intersection of South Martin Luther King and Old Avenue?
I did.
And is that in the city of Lansing,
It is.
Ingham County,
Yes.
state of Michigan?
Yes.
On that time, at that date and the location, were you involved in a vehicle accident investigation?
Yes.
Do you see someone present in court that you encountered on that day?
I did.
Can you point that individual out and describe an article of clothing?
It's just by wearing black.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that the witnesses identified the defendant.
the objection to identification.
No, Your Honor.
Identification.
And can you just tell us briefly the nature of the call that brought you to that location?
It was dispatched as a 3-car accident in the intersection of King and Old. So that someone was injured and they weren't sure on consciousness levels.
And were you wearing a body worn camera during that day?
Yes.
Would you recognize it if I showed you a still caption of it?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to introduce what's going to be marked as People's Exhibit 1, Officer Hyatt's body worn camera.
Any objection?
No.
Yeah, exhibit 1 is it better?
Okay, that's me.
I'll keep your computer muted. That'll stop the feedback. But when you go to share, you can click share sound. Are you on share screen? If you could bring your computer to me, I'll show you what to do. It's right there, share. And then share sound is on the side. You click that, and then you'll click whatever video you're trying to share. Is that playing? Then you click play. It's up on our screen.
Oh, okay. And for the record, I'm starting Officer Hyatt's body worn camera at 2 minutes and 50 seconds. Officer Hyatt, do you recall this portion of your body? Is this does this accurately reflect your body worn camera on November 9th, 2025?
Yes.
And what do we see here?
You can see the first vehicle when I arrived, which and the other. It's hard to see in this, but there's 2 vehicles on the other side of that silver sedan.
And I'm going to play a few clips. I'm not going to play the entire thing. I'm going to omit the entire video. I'm going to play some clips and then just have you describe it.
Do you have any head pain or anything like that, sweetheart? Left leg, chest pain, and a possible head injury. Can you copy and play it? David, X-ray David, 7341. $24, can you copy a temp plate? Who is in this car? Okay. 9258 Robert 20. It's gonna be black in color. The first one I gave you is silver. Okay, are you injured at all?
It just like my ankle hurts a little bit, but I think I am fine. Bowie, do you hurt anywhere? No, just have
No.
panic attack. Oh, just upset, yeah.
Okay, give me just a second so I can check on that, okay? 24, copy a third. It's gonna be David Mary Victor 733. It's gonna be teal. We're gonna need flatbeds for all of them. Okay, were you in this car?
I was on the driver.
Are you okay?
I have some minor bruising and my passenger has some minor bruising, but I think we're fine.
Okay, but you guys are good?
Yeah.
Did you hit your heads or anything like that?
We had airbags deploy all the way around. I
Okay.
think we're okay.
Okay. Was he in the car with you or was he just?
No.
Were you in the other one?
2 of us.
I was just stopping by to make sure everybody was okay.
Okay. Did you see what happened?
I hadn't seen anything happen.
Okay.
Noticed that there was cars
Okay.
racing around.
All right. Thank you. Do you guys have your IDs on you?
Yeah. No big.
I'm going to pause the video at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Officer Hyatt, does this accurately describe what you encountered on? Does this accurately depict the accident as you saw it on November 9th?
Yes.
And back it up a little bit and ask you if you can identify a few people. Here. Do you remember who these individuals were here that you see on screen?
I don't remember their names, but I do recognize the lady in the shirt. It was Randall.
And okay. Do you remember who this individual is here?
In the pink plaid shirt is Miss Jessica Body, stand next to it.
And what vehicle was she driving?
The black SUV.
Do you remember the names of these two individuals?
The short hair is Michelle. I don't recall the last name. I don't recall the last name.
I'll play this portion with some sound and then ask a question.
Were you in this car?
I was on the driver.
Are you okay?
I have some minor bruising and my passenger has some minor bruising, but I think we're
Okay,
fine.
but you guys are good.
Yeah.
Did you hit your heads or anything like that?
We had airbags deploy all the way around, so I
Okay.
think we're okay.
Okay. Was he in the car with you, or is he just?
No.
Were you in the other one?
Two of us.
I was just stopping by to make sure everybody was okay.
Okay. Did you see what happened?
I hadn't seen anything that happened. I just
Okay.
noticed that there was cars.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Do you guys have your IDs on you?
Yeah. What big goes through here? Or?
No.
So this individual here, she was just involved in that. That individual there, was she the driver of the blue car?
The female?
Yes.
That's a yes.
In my phone, but I didn't see where it went.
Okay. If you're.
We're gonna get you checked out.
Hi there. Were you able to find your ID?
Yes.
Okay.
Still how fast she was going southbound.
Which one? Mm-mm. No, I didn't talk to the silver car. I talked to blue car. Jones right there, the one that's walking this way, he talked to a silver car. Sorry, you're good to go. Miss Jessica, what's your phone number?
My phone number is 517-763-5625.
5625?
Yes.
Okay. Can you kind of tell me what happened today?
I think that I was distracted. I was having a conversation with my kid and we were driving.
She was distracted by tequila.
I assume that I must have missed traffic coming
Okay, which way were you going?
across here.
So you were on Olds going
Yes.
across King?
Yes.
Okay, did you come to a stop at that stop sign?
Honestly, I feel insanely shooken up. I don't know. Like I just was driving regularly and then all of a sudden I was in an accident. In my perspective.
Insanely shooken up. Oh, that reminds me. I made a clip today. All right, let me go find it.
Okay, did you have your seatbelt on?
Yes.
Okay. And then where was she sitting at?
Bowie was in the passenger seat.
In the front seat?
Yeah.
Okay, can you spell her first name for me?
Yeah, Bowie, BOWIE.
What's your middle name?
Jay.
Last name?
Metzger, METZGER.
What's her date of birth?
5/28/2005. However, some of their paperwork hasn't, like, we have been working on a name change, so that some of their paperwork hasn't gone through. So
Is
they
this
might
her
be
legal-
listed. Well, that is the legal name, but we haven't gotten it okay. So I believed it to be the legal name currently, but their birth name is Clementine Elise Metzger.
Bowie, were you wearing your seatbelt?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. Do you have a phone number at all?
we do. I have it in my phone. I'm sorry. No, it's not your fault. I messed up. I don't know what I did. I don't even know. This is so confusing.
Miss Jessica, I just have to ask, okay, because I have to ask everybody, okay? Have you been drinking at all today?
I did go to, like, I did, oh, God.
24, does anyone have a PPT?
Yeah, that sounds like a yes already.
I did go to, site
Hey, her?
and had a drink there, a Long Island iced tea, like,
Oh, yeah.
2 hours ago.
Okay, so 2 hours ago you had a Long Island iced tea?
Yeah, or I ordered one 2 hours ago.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a PPT?
Get him out.
And that's bullcorn because I didn't have an attorney for this case.
Get you out of the cold for a little bit with that. Watch your shoelace.
Did you get their phone number?
I did.
Okay.
Did you have anything else to drink?
No.
Okay. So
Currently, I have to adjust the volume on my bullcorn clip.
you had one drink and it was a Long Island iced tea. It was about 2 hours ago.
Well, I ordered it 2 hours ago and over the course of 2 hours.
Okay. So you had one drink and that was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But stupid drink. Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Give me just a second. Why don't you get in that ambulance with Chloe, okay? Just that way you can warm up, all right? I'm gonna go run her first. Yeah. And then I'll do that. So she drank 2 hours ago, had a Long Island.
Smelling.
I don't have a sense of smell, I'm sick. But she's kind of talking like, kind of, yeah, like the typical girl who's had a drink. Ambulance with Chloe, okay? Just that way you can warm up, all right? Yeah, she's in here. You can just go in, yep, right through that one. Yep. I'm gonna go run her first. Yeah. And then I'll do that. So she drank 2 hours ago, had a Long Island iced tea.
Smelling.
I don't have a sense of smell, I'm sick. But she's kind of talking like, kind of, yeah, like the typical girl who's had a drink. She didn't really look me in the eyes at all during that. So I'm gonna go run her and make sure she doesn't have her previous rules, and then I'll be right back.
Are you going to have my UT1 number?
Your UD10? Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's me. 24 to 25.
Measure door.
39-year-old female.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I forgot to get Jessica's insurance information. Are you able to do that? She's the she's Subaru lady. So I guess if it's in her, she's the possible OUI.
Okay. So she got it in our thing. Oh, I'm gonna accept this slide and close that. You can smell it.
You can.
I can smell it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over here, okay, to this line. Just gonna borrow this for a second. All right, just because you told me that you have been drinking today, I do have to perform the SFSTs, okay? So SFSTs means a field sobriety test, okay?
Okay.
Give me just 1 second. 24 and starting SFSTs. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what's called HGN, okay? I have to ask you a few questions, okay?
Is this on?
I'm starting SFSTs. What? Can you let them know? Okay. Okay, what? Okay.
Sorry, I mean,
SFSTs means...
no, I mean, why did you shake your head or something?
No, they were just...
Different thing.
Different thing. So... to ask you a few questions, okay?
I have asthma. I have a thyroid condition.
Okay.
Scoliosis.
Okay. Do you have anything that would prevent you from walking normally, standing on 1 foot?
No.
Okay. Any issues with your eyes or anything like that? Cataracts? Glaucoma,
I mean,
anything?
I have astigmatism, but
Okay.
nothing like crazy with that.
This today, Your Honor, my health is in jeopardy right now. What's that?
I have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
and what's been going on is
Very stressful.
I'm bleeding inside, ma'am.
Wear contacts or glasses?
No.
Okay, are you wearing contacts or glasses right now?
No.
Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is what it's called horizontal gaze nystagmus, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to look at the tip of this pen, follow the tip of the pen with your eyes and your eyes only, okay? Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. All right. Again, only with your eyes and your eyes only. Look at the tip of your pen, follow it, okay? I'm going to have you turn this way so that way the flashing lights aren't in your eye, okay? All right, we're going to try this again. All right, again, only with your eyes and your eyes only. Look at the tip of the pen. Okay. All right, the next one that I'm going to have you do is the one-leg stand, okay? So what I want you to do is put both your feet together like this. Put your arms out to your side just like this. I know it's cold. Just keep your hands out of your pockets till we do this, okay? All right, just stay in that position until I tell you to do something else, okay? So what I'm going to have you do, when I tell you to,
Do you mind if I'm going to like a more steady?
Yeah, no, you can come over here. Let's come over here, like right here.
Sorry.
No, you're
Like
good.
split in the middle.
No, you're good, okay?
I'm sorry.
You keep your feet together, hands at your sides, okay? Don't begin until I tell you to, okay? So when I do, you're gonna put your foot up. Either one that you choose, I'm gonna choose my right, okay? You're gonna lift it 6 inches off the ground. You're gonna point your toe to parallel to the ground. We're gonna do 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000 until I tell you to stop, okay? Does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, give me just 1 second. All right, and then again, hands at your side just like this. Yep, perfect. All right, when I tell you to begin, I want you to begin, okay? 1, 2, 3, begin. Count out loud.
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000. How many do I
Keep
have?
going
8,
until I tell you to stop.
9, 1,000, 10, 1,000, 11, 1,000, 12, 1,000, 13, 1,000, 14, 1,000. Sorry.
Okay, keep going.
15, 1,000, 16, 1,000, 17, 1,000, 18, 1,000, 19, 1,000, 21,000.
Okay, you can stop. Thank you. 30, 47. All right, the next one is called the walk and turn, okay? So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you use this white line, okay? Go ahead and stand on this white line for me just like this. Feet together, okay? Take your right foot, put it in front of your left foot. Heel to toe. Go ahead and do that right now.
Okay, right foot in front of left foot.
Heel to toe.
Sorry, this is my right hand. I have dyslexia.
All right, and then, nope, just, yep. Heel to toe like this. Hands at your sides. Stay like that until I tell you to stop, until I tell you to begin, okay? All right, so what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you take
meaning she was bleeding out of her hoo-ha.
a series of 9 steps, heel to toe, and it's going to look something like this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, so on until you get to 9, okay? When you get to your 9th step, you're going to take a series of small turns, and you're going to begin again. 1, 2, 3, and so on, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I walked 9 steps and then I do like a full circle and tiny steps.
Yep, you take a series of small steps and then you walk back another 9 steps.
Okay.
Okay, so again, it's going to be heel to toe like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. And then when you get to your 9th step, you're going to take a series of small steps just like this. And you're going to do again 1, 2, 3, and so on.
Okay.
Until you get to 9 steps, okay?
Your Honor, I am a neurodivergent person with complex PTSD.
Sure.
All right, do you understand my instructions?
I believe so. I
Okay,
believe so.
all
I
right.
believe so.
Go ahead. Go for it. You're going to have to count out loud.
Sorry, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Hands at your sides.
6, 7, 8, 9. Then this is the series of small steps like this. So now I go backwards and do another 9.
Correct.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. You got that? All right.
She actually did better than I expected.
That I gave Miss Milligan, I'm assuming bacterial vaginosis.
Ms. Jessica, I'm going to read this to you, okay? Michigan law requires that you submit to a preliminary breath analysis upon request of a peace officer. Your refusal to submit as requested shall result in you being charged with a civil infraction with a penalty of up to a $100 fine. Okay? Will you take a PPT for me?
I mean, like, honestly, like, I'll take the fine because I know that they can be inaccurate.
Okay, so just to clarify, on body camera, you're refusing to take a PPT.
Because they can be inaccurate, yes.
Okay.
I'll take the fine.
If you have type 2 diabetes like I have, you're confronted with choices.
Okay, all right, well then you're going to be under arrest for driving while intoxicated. Go ahead and put your hands behind your back and release your fingers like you're praying, all right?
Just a moment.
I'm not a Zoom genius either, so
I have to give you permission to share your screen. Okay, let's see. I'm going to share your screen. I'll make it close. And you know how to share a screen? At the bottom of your Zoom, there's a share with the arrow pointing up in the middle of the Zoom.
Yep.
When you click that on the left, on the right side, it'll say share sound. There's a box. You should, so you'll click that and then it should populate to whatever you want to share, but that it has to already be open for it to populate. And then you click it. I hear.
Oh, Lord, is it?
I'm like, I'm hearing myself repeat.
it's not playing yet.
It's my computer. What is going on with these computers today? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Did that address it? Check, test. I think that.
So it's not.
You can hear it?
No,
I can't.
it's not just you.
Yeah, I turned my volume down, so whatever.
I know there's a way to do it, to mute the computer, but
Oh, mine's is mute. My computer was playing back here, so we can hear it appear. I think yours should be fine. You keep your computer muted so it doesn't echo, or
that's
give
what
that
I'm trying.
picture.
It won't play the audio if my computer's muted though. Don't know why. So.
Mine's is, no, I didn't mute mine. No, I just turned the computer on the actual the computer volume down, but the Zoom I'm not muted. There's supposed to be sound on this.
Yeah, I'm muted. So.
You know what? I sure love those muffin tops.
We're going to need an additional medic. I do have another female here with possible.
Same issue, but we'll make it work. Excellent.
Yeah, let me see what's going on here. Participants.
Yeah, I'm muted.
Yeah, he's muted in Zoom. I don't know why it's doing that.
Are you still in?
No, I'm out.
No, he is there, but he's muted.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Okay.
Anxiety leads to constipation.
Okay. Good afternoon. Where'd you get married?
So you gotta get a new last name.
I'm gonna hide it.
Oh, okay, good, because so I can know when social much who you are.
Okay. Mr. Smith went through some of these, so we're gonna get caught up. Are you familiar with the field sobriety student manual?
Yes.
That I'm holding? Okay. I'm assuming you use this as part of your training and certification.
Yes.
Okay. So we might be referring to that. I just wanted to establish that everybody knew what it is and you've used it before. All right. So I'm going to go. Oh. So I'm going to go straight to the odor issue. Obviously, in your affidavit for search warrant, again, you've reviewed this. Do you need to see another copy of it again?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you this one just because it's not the same one you reviewed. That's a fair and accurate depiction of the search warrant as you wrote it up and submitted it. Your Honor, I'd like to move for admission of defendant's exhibits, exhibit 1, the affidavit for search warrant.
A. It's exhibit A for you.
Objection.
Exhibit A is admitted.
So in there, in the middle, it said, I could smell the odor of intoxicants emanating from her breath. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. And then on the video that we watched, you told your partner, Officer Jones?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have a sense of smell. I'm sick. No, that's accurate.
Yes.
Okay. That's different from I don't smell alcohol from her, correct?
Yes.
Not having a sense of smell means you can't smell anything. Okay. So when did your sense of smell come back?
When we went downwind.
Down. How far away were you
From Miss By?
from Miss By? Yeah.
It was during asbestos.
During SFC.
During my 3 questions, I could smell it.
So during the pre-questions?
Yes. When I was asking him about medical questions.
And you said that Officer Jones told you he could smell it. When was that?
Before asbestos started. When I was running a spotlight.
And he had just come from inside the ambulance at that point. Fair enough. We're going to move on to the field sobriety test. You did ask Miss By if she had any medical conditions, right?
Yes.
What did she respond with?
She had asthma, thyroid issue, AED, and scoliosis.
Would it be fair to add astigmatism in there as well? Do you remember that?
Yeah, during the contact portion.
Fair enough. Do you know what scoliosis is?
It's the curvature of the spine.
Okay. And if you know, you know, if you don't, you don't. Can that affect affect the way a person walks?
Depending on the severity, yes.
Did you put any of that in your search warrant I gave? The medical conditions.
No.
Okay, well, we can let you look at it again. You can hold on to it in case we need you to look at it again. I have another copy here. Did you put that in the search warrant?
I did not.
Okay, why not?
Relevant
Okay.
ABD or asthma to being able to walk.
Okay, what about the scoliosis?
She was walking around the scene during my time being out there. I think I began SSTs around the 30-minute mark of me being on scene. The entire time she's been walking around and didn't appear to see any issues with the walking.
Okay, fair enough. So she responded negatively when you asked her, is there anything to prevent you from walking normally? Right? Okay.
Or standing on one foot.
Or standing on one foot, thank you. Is walking heel to toe a normal gait?
Normal.
A normal gait, like a normal way to walk?
No.
So we're going to refer to this manual real quick. These field sobriety tests, how many are there? Standardized field sobriety tests? Three. Okay. And we covered what those are, but can you say them again for me?
Horizontal gaze and stagnance, the one leg stand, and the walking train.
All right. And those tests are scientific in nature, are they not?
Yes.
Okay. And because they're scientific in nature, they have to be given the same way every time and recorded the same way every time.
No.
No.
Substantial compliance.
Substantial compliance, but the scientific method that we all learned at high school, if it's not repeatable, it's not trustworthy. Would that be accurate?
I guess I'm confused by your question.
So in order for something to be scientific, it has to be repeatable.
I would object.
What's the objection?
Relevance and I think lack of foundation.
I'll rephrase it.
Okay, just, he's withdrawn.
And you the manual, session 8, page 12. There's a red tab there. Can you read or yeah, can you read that for me?
Out loud is myself.
Out loud would be great.
It is necessary to emphasize this validation applies only when the tests are administered in the prescribed and standardized manner. Standardized rules are used to assess the subject's performance. The standardized criteria are employed to interpret that performance. If any one of the SFFT elements is changed, the validity may be compromised.
So if one of the elements is changed, the validity may be compromised. What's that mean to you?
We demonstrate or offer assumptions.
Okay. And would you include scoring them properly in that?
Like the clues?
Correct.
Okay.
Would you include that in that statement?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go back to the HDN. We're going to go to 2849 on the the video. What harder to do here? Oh, 2832. So we already went over the instructions earlier. So I'm going to ask you, what are the clues on the HGM?
Lack of pursuit, maximum deviation, or next seconds of maximum deviation, and the onset of next seconds prior to 45 degrees.
Okay. All right. And when you're giving the test, how long does it take? So you start off with the pen. Obviously, we can see on the video. How far away is that pen supposed to be?
12 to 15.
Okay. Looks fairly close. You start in the middle, and then how do you proceed to do the test?
Left eye first, and then right eye next. Do that for each test.
Okay. How long does it take for you to go from the middle to the maximum for one side, one eye?
You're saying for the maximum?
Well, when you're doing the test, you start it, the whole test, you start it and you run through the whole thing, correct? When you start with the pen in front of the eye and you go out to however far you go out and you come back to the center, how long is that supposed to take?
Approximately 2 seconds. Or
All right.
1,000.
Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong, it should be 2 seconds all the way out and then 2 seconds back.
Like 1,000. No, 1,000, 2,000, then right back.
Okay. So again, let's go back to session 14, page 16 of that manual. I'm going to show you number 6 on there. It gives the instructions on how to do the HGN. Let me know when you're done reading that, please. So based on that instruction, it would take you a total of 4 seconds to go from middle out to your maximum and back to the middle. Is that accurate?
Approximately.
All right. And then you do that for the equal tracking, you do that twice, once for each eye.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry. Their left eye and left eye.
Okay, perfect. So that'd take roughly 8 seconds, give or take. And then for the lack of smooth pursuit, that's essentially the same test as the equal tracking.
Yeah.
Same timing, same everything.
Yeah, equal tracking is not full free, just to make sure that she is able to do so. But smooth tracking is part of the age.
Perfect. And then when you're doing the nystagmus at maximum deviation, how do you conduct that?
Here, the pen to be able to bring it out to the maximum deviation to see if there's any for seconds.
Okay. How long do you hold the stimulus out at maximum deviation? And then for onset prior to 45 degrees, how do you conduct that?
Prior to 45 bring it out and then bring it back.
How long is that test for each eye?
Personally,
Are you supposed to do it for 4 seconds in each eye? Well, we can, it's all right, we can use the cheat sheet. So all told, we add those all up. Takes about 90 seconds to do the HGN. Would you agree with that? So we're going to type this up to the beginning of it and play the HGN. Again, we're starting at what looks like 2818.
It's called horizontal gaze nystagmus, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to look at this pen, follow the pen with your eyes and your eyes only, okay? So you're saying, all right. Again, only with your eyes and eyes only. Look at the tip of your pen, follow it, okay? We're gonna be turning this way so that way the flashing lights aren't in your eye.
So I just paused it. We're at 2849. Why did you rotate her?
I can see that the red light from my emergency lights was flashing in the eyeball. I didn't properly see correctly, and I didn't want her to be staring at lights.
Because that can affect the test.
Okay. All right, we're gonna try this again. All right, again, only with your eyes and eyes only. Okay. All right, the next one I'm gonna have you do is.
I'm just talking to my computer and trying to get it to pause. So that after you rotated her to get out of the lights, what we just watched was approximately 33 seconds. You agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So it's well under the 90 seconds that you need to properly do an HGN. Now, based on those instructions that you reviewed earlier, is it correct that you're supposed to check each eye at least twice? Manual, I believe it's. So session 8, page 27, go ahead and review that. You don't need to read it out loud. Let me know when you're done. And those instructions, you can hold on to that. Those instructions indicate that you're supposed to check each eye at least twice.
Yes.
Okay, now we can go to the scoring of the HGN.
This is not trial. This is a prelim, kind of mixed with a motion to suppress.
And again, tell me how you should typically score that.
To clarify, I did not observe any nystagmus for the distinction sustained or the onset. I didn't complete it twice because it was not there the first time.
Okay, fair enough. Good. Thank you for clarifying that. Moving on to the scoring, 4 or more clues indicates a likely BAC of 0.08 or higher. Is that correct? Okay, so 2 clues would indicate a BAC under 0.08. Did you put that in your search warrant affidavit?
I served in the shoot. That's it. During each year, there's a lack of some pursuitable buys. No, the others over the lack of.
All right, let's move on to the one-legged stand. All right, again, what are the scoreable clues on this test?
Putting her foot down and using her arms for balance.
Those are the ones that you scored her for? Or
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Let me rephrase. What are the standardized clues, the scoreable clues for the one-legged?
Putting your foot down on the pavement, using your arms for balance. Counting is not a push.
Okay. And then the other one would be hopping.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So when you're scoring the putting the foot down, it doesn't matter how many times they do it, just put the foot down. I don't know that that's relevant to this one. For the using the arms to balance, at what point do you count that? How far do her arms have to come off from her, out from her side?
Approximately 4 to 6 inches.
There's a green tab on that manual there. Yeah. Review what's tabbed on that portion. Six or more inches. Okay. We're going to watch this in a minute here. I actually have a ruler or protractor here that's conveniently 6 inches. I'll let you. Do you want to get the protractor?
No.
I forgot to give you all the other stuff. So it's just a visual aid. It's a 6 inch protractor. So I guess we're going to watch and see if we could fit this protractor under her arm during this video.
So what I'm gonna have you do, when I tell you to,
You might move on to like a more.
yeah, no, over here. Let's go. No, you're good. You're good. No, you're good. Okay. So when I do, I'm gonna put up, and then we'll let you. Okay. You're gonna take the ground. You're gonna put your toe all over the ground. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. Just a second. All right, and then again, hands at your side, just like this. Yep, perfect. All right. When I tell you to begin, I want you to begin, okay? 1, 2, 3, begin. Not loud.
9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 7,000. How many?
Keep going.
8,000, 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 13,000, 41,000. Sorry.
Keep going.
15,000, 16,000, 17,000, 18,000, 19,000, 21,000.
Okay, good stop. Thank you.
No, you on the search warrant affidavit, for the one-legged standing score, Jessica used her arms for balance, right? And she put her foot down. That's fairly obvious. That happened. We can't contest that. And then you also scored stop counting or miscount. Again, you just said a couple minutes ago that's not actually a clue for the one-legged stand.
Correct.
Okay. If it's not a clue, why did you put it in under the one-legged stand?
That it is legs there is an indication. Well, it might not be a physical clue based on action, reaction, being able to count correctly.
All right. So for the one-legged stand, she's would have scored only one proper clue. Is that accurate?
If you're counting not counting the arms. Yes.
Okay. And for the one-legged stand, you need 2 or more clues to, according to the manual, have a good chance to be at or above a 0.08. Would you agree with that? If it'll be the yellow tab on the small yellow one. Review that. Correct. So again, seems like an obvious question. If there's only one clue, that would indicate a BAC under 0.08. Then we're going to move on to the walk and turn. Now, during the instructions for the walk and turn, let's go forward a little bit. You gave her instructions on how to do the turn once you got to the end of the 9 steps.
Yeah, a series of small steps.
Yeah. Initially, though, you said you take a series of small turns, and then correct yourself after she asked for clarification. You remember that? We'll play it. No big deal. Oh,
Right foot, put it in front of your left foot. Heel to toe. Go ahead and do that right now.
Okay, right foot in front of left foot.
Heel to toe.
All right. This is my right hand. I have dyslexia.
Yeah. That reminds me. I made a note earlier. When you were talking about the instructions, you turned your chair and you said, "Oh, I have to demonstrate it so I get the things right, which foot goes in front of the other foot," right? Yeah, when on direct.
Yes.
Okay, so why is that not a problem, but her dyslexia is a problem?
I don't see why her dyslexia has relevance to this. She mentioned it, but
Well, earlier you said it was weird that she couldn't tell her left from her right.
dyslexia is reading, from my understanding.
Okay. All right. But
No,
she,
your left hand's the right hand.
but she did say, "I have dyslexia," and did so this is my left, this is my right routine.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna watch and see. Drag. Oh, the turn.
I haven't seen this yet, but please tell me we get a blood sample later.
And then, no, just drop. Heel to toe like this. I think your sides. Okay, like that. I'll tell you again, okay? All right, so we're gonna have you take a series of 9 steps, heel to toe, and that's gonna look something like this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Go on until you get to 9, okay? When you get to your 9th step, you're gonna take a series of small turns. And you're gonna begin out. 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay?
I'm sorry.
Do you have any questions?
I want 9 steps and then I do like full circle and tiny
You have to take a series of small steps and then you walk to 9 steps. Okay, so again, it's because you feel.
Okay, so she was actually paying attention to your instructions and caught on to the fact that if she takes a series of small turns, she's going to go in a circle. Okay. And then you corrected your instructions and said a series of small steps. Then she conducted the test. Okay. right, we're gonna go back into the search warrant affidavit for the clues on the walk and turn. Earlier, when you testified with Mr. Smith, I don't believe you gave him the clue of couldn't keep balance while listening to instructions. Yes, that's in your search warrant affidavit. Did you not see any of that on the video today? Did she have trouble keeping balance based on the video that you reviewed today prior to instructions? Okay. And articulate for me when you feel she lost balance.
So she started before she was supposed to, and at that time she was swinging for balance. She lost her balance, and I pulled it away until I pulled it again.
So we can pinpoint that.
This, feet together, okay? Take your right foot, put it in front of your left foot. Heel to toe. Go ahead and do that right now.
Okay, right foot in front of left foot.
Heel to toe.
Sorry, it's my right hand. I have dyslexia.
All right, and then, no, just, yep.
That's what you're talking about? Right. Oh, right.
Heel the toe like this. Hands at your sides. Stay like that until I tell you to stop. Until I tell you to go, okay? All right, so what I'm going to do is have you take
That time?
She put her hands right in the pocket and we're demonstrating. So she's like
a series of 9 steps. Heel to toe. And it's going to look something like this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want until you got 9, okay? When you get to your 9th step, you're going to take a series of small turns. And you're going to begin again. 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Do you have any questions?
No, I want.
Well, did we see it yet?
no, honey. Jared does not look like that. No.
Okay, then the second one you scored was starts too soon. Based on the manual, you only score that clue after you instruct her not to start until told to do so. Would that be accurate? That's the blue tab, session 8, page 44. So although she did start before after you gave her the FIA instruction, but after you gave her the instruction not to start, she waited. So the third and fourth one, I don't think there's any dispute that she did use her arms to balance and lost balance there for a second. Could that ankle injury that she alluded to had anything to do with that? Well, when you initially approached her, she said her ankle hurt a little bit. You remember that?
The beginning of her?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes, but I also had her checked out by Alex just to make sure she was okay.
Okay.
And they didn't tell me anything about her ankle or any injury that they saw.
Fair enough. And then last, you scored that she would miscount. Now that's not technically a clue, is it? That'll be page 44, the blue.
Incorrect number of steps record this loop as if it takes more or fewer than 9 steps to do it.
Okay. So it appears that she takes 9.
First step, she step on her foot. Why did someone put her foot down, but counted that as 2 steps?
Yeah. And tell me when.
Okay, so again, it's gonna be heel to toe like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go on, and then when you get to your 9th step, you're gonna take a series of small steps just like this, and you're gonna do again 1, 2, 3, and so on. And you can try and step, okay? All right, do you want to have any questions? Okay, all right, go ahead. You're gonna have to count out loud. 1, 2, 3.
So explain to me, what do you mean by she counted?
For the one right before it, when she first started, she didn't count out loud, and she put her foot down on the top of her toe, and then put it down again on top of the toe, then on the line and counted it as 2.
Okay, but she only took 9 steps on the line, right?
I don't recall how to get that.
Oh, we're looking at the, yeah, I'll back it up. I'm just confused because it looks like she starts to take the step. She just doesn't count the first step and then she catches up counting, but maybe I'm looking at it wrong.
You're gonna have to count out loud.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Hands at your sides.
7, 8, 9, then the series of smaller steps like this. Now I go backwards.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So I think it's just a matter of interpretation, so we'll move on from that. Then, so also in the search warrant affidavit, you have number 7 down here. The box is filled in. I'm assuming that means you checked it. That is the section in regard to hemophilia and diabetes. Did you read that section, Ms. Bai? Oh. Two. Let me get there without Zoom shut down. It's not.
I can work with getting it off. Yep.
Are you okay if I read this story?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, Miss Jessica, I have to read this to you verbatim, okay? I'm a police officer. You are under arrest for the offense of operating a vehicle while visibly impaired due to the consumption of alcoholic liquor, a controlled substance, an intoxicating substance, or a combination. I am requesting that you take a chemical test to check for alcohol and or controlled substances or other intoxicating substances in your body. If you're asked to take or took a preliminary breath test before your arrest, you must still take the test immediately. If you refuse to take this chemical test, it will take you to a medical order, or you seek to obtain such a court order. Your refusal to take this test shall result in the suspension of operators and chauffeur's license, vehicle designation, or operating privilege, and in addition to 6 points to your driving record. After taking the chemical test, you have a right to demand that a person of your own choosing administer a breath or urine test. You will be given a reasonable opportunity to such a test. You are responsible for obtaining a chemical analysis of a test sample taken by a person of your own choosing. The results of both chemical tests shall be admissible in a judicial proceeding and will be considered with other admissible evidence to determine your innocence or guilt. Will you take a blood test?
I honestly don't know. I know this feels like something I cannot answer a yes or no question at this point because I don't have any information about how those tests are. accuracy or like the situation that we put into.
Well, the question is straightforward. It's just a yes or no.
Well, because it's a yes or no, but it's a yes or no, but depending on details and factors that I don't.
Okay, so that's 7 to 14 hours. I have 2 p.m. I say that you have no hours. Okay, thank you.
Again, did you read those right, Stuart? Okay. All right, and lastly, in the affidavit, you put in there, Jessica reviews the PVT. What was her rationale for refusing that again? If you remember.
Basically, the forward the other.
And why do you take people to get blood tests, even if you have a good PVT read?
To confirm.
Is a PVT admissible at trial? And to your knowledge, why is it not admissible at trial?
I don't know.
Or not? I'm sharing my screen and double check, make sure I forget anything. Is not looking someone in the eyes a typical sign of intoxication? And earlier, after Mr. Smith asked you essentially, why did you arrest Miss Bai? You responded to him and said that part of it was because there was a crash with an injury. Why did you add the injury part in there?
The injury portion, I guess it just to speak back, this is just a regular crash incident. I think I've covered everything. Thank you.
Redirect?
No redirect.
I just have one question. I think one of these. Can you indicated, I think, when you were speaking to the other officer, that he was, I think, asking if the speech of the defendant was slurred. You said she was speaking like a typical girl who had a drink. I don't know what that means.
I, as a girl who drinks, sometimes my voice can go a little bit higher, and I start based on my own, reviewing. Sometimes I'll take videos, or I have friends who are females who talk a certain way too.
So her, you thought maybe her pitch was higher, her voice pitch, and then and you did detect slurred speech.
Yes.
Okay. Any redirect based on my question?
No.
Thank you. Sorry, you're excused.
Would you like the exhibit that was admitted?
Yes, please.
May I approach? Your own chair.
I don't know who some of these attorneys are that are in there. I see Darling. Okay, we're back on the record. Any additional witnesses?
No, the defense does not have any additional witnesses. We will rest. Or the people.
People rest.
The people rest.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. And are you calling any witnesses today?
No, Your Honor, we have no witnesses.
Speak to argument.
Well, Your Honor, before we proceed to argument, I will move to admit the results of the laboratory report that was taken as a result of the blood draw. In this case, the laboratory results indicated that the defendant's blood alcohol content was 0.094 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood.
You don't need to, but I'll take judicial notice. It's actually in the file because it was part of the affidavit of probable cause.
So, thank you, Your Honor. I believe the people have met their probable cause burden on both charges here to take count 2 first, Your Honor. I believe you heard testimony today that the defendant, very least on film, admitted that she was distracted when she was driving. Whether or not that distracted driving was indicator of she was doing something in the car, or a combination of her blood alcohol plus doing something in the car. The defendant did go through a stop sign and cause an accident, which caused a serious injury to the witness that you heard today. So I believe, based on the testimony you heard today, we met our burden for count 2. As to count 1, the OWI, and to take defense counsel's motion and respond to this motion, I'd like to first start off with the probable cause for the search warrant to draw the blood. Your Honor, I believe you again heard testimony that the defendant admitted to the officer while she was on the scene that she drank a Long Island iced tea within 2 hours of having been involved in a 3-car serious accident. You heard testimony that the defendant was slurring her speech. You seen on the video that the defendant had a hard time keeping her balance. She had a hard time telling her left from her right. She had a hard time walking in the straight line. She had a hard time remembering exactly what her daughter's name was, or how it was supposed to be given to police officers. So based off of the testimony and the statements that you heard today from the defendant, I believe that there was probable cause to get for the magistrate to sign the warrant to search our blood. Now, in the actual affidavit, again, there was a little bit of an issue about when Officer Hyatt smelled, or how she smelled, or when she smelled alcohol on the defendant during this accident. She said that she had a stopped up nose, but when she moved around downwind from the defendant and she got closer to the defendant, she was able to smell alcohol. And there's also an issue with point number 7 here, which indicates that the officer was supposed to read that to her verbatim. I believe the exclusionary rule has a good faith exception. You heard Officer Hyatt ask the defendant about any medical conditions that she had, not specifically related to the search warrant, but related to her being able to complete the field sobriety test. During that, the defendant spouted off a bunch of different medical conditions that she had. None of those medical conditions were a condition that was outlined in number 7. So to the extent that number 7 of the search warrant affidavit was not read verbatim to the defendant, I believe a good faith exception would overrule that it wasn't read verbatim to the defendant. And again, based off of everything, even without the standard field sobriety test, I believe that there was probable cause for a magistrate to sign this warrant to search her blood. Now, when it comes to the standard field sobriety test, the law only requires that Officer Hyatt complete these standard field sobriety tests in substantial compliance with the National Safety Transportation Administration. I believe, based off of the testimony that you heard and the video that you saw, that Officer Hyatt did complete the standard field sobriety test in substantial compliance. When she asked, does she have any medical conditions? The defendant said no. If there was an issue with the defendant's ankle at the time, she very well could have said at that time, hey, I can't do it. I was just in an accident. My ankle's hurting. I don't think I can perform a one-leg stand. I don't believe I can do the walk and turn. She never said that. She had an opportunity to say that. Again, whether or not that was because she was stressed or because she was under the influence, that's a matter of that should be, that's a point which she could have clarified, I believe, had she been sober. But she was asked to do each test. She performed poorly on each test. And I believe based off of what you heard from Officer Hyatt and the extent to which she explained the test, that she did substantially comply with the NHTSA standards. So I would ask that you rule that those the tests are admissible at any trial against the defendant. So again, with those two arguments, I would say that the Officer Hyatt had a good faith belief that the defendant was intoxicated, and I believe she substantially complied with the NHTSA standards. And based off her training experience, the defendant declined the PBT, and she rightfully asked for a search warrant of the blood. She got the blood back, and that blood indicated that she was at a 0.09. So I believe the people have met their burden on count. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. So just going to make it clear, I think there's two decisions, obviously, the court needs to make. One, that the court needs to decide whether there's probable cause in the search warrant affidavit after the misstatements are taken, according to People v. Mullen and DeBrone were cited in my brief. It's theoretically possible that the court could find there's probable cause for an arrest. We're not saying that there is, we're arguing there isn't, but it's theoretically possible. You could say, okay, Officer Hyatt had enough probable cause to arrest Ms. Bai, and there can also not be enough evidence in the search warrant affidavit because the magistrate is looking at the four corners of the documents. They can only go based on what's on that search warrant affidavit. Nothing else. They weren't there. So the people in their response, they ask you to deny the motion specifically for factual disputes. Well, obviously they're factual disputes because we're saying that there were misstatements. The test was not administered and scored correctly. And then there's also the misstatement, lie, however you want to classify it.
When you say misstatements, you're specifically talking about when she says she smelled intoxicants, or are we talking about how she scored?
Both, Your Honor. I would call those both misstatements. The alcohol, I don't know what other reason she would say I don't have a sense of smell to her partner. I akin that to an excited utterance. Why would she tell her partner away from everybody else, I don't have a sense of smell, but she's talking like a valley girl, so I think she's drunk, essentially. That directly contradicts what she put in the affidavit. Is it possible she smelled alcohol later on? I guess it is possible, but how do you go from no sense of smell to smelling?
Well, she says she was stuffed up, so if she smelled it later, was she supposed to then announce it? Hey, I smell it now.
Not necessarily.
So what was she supposed to do if she smelled it later? Not include it in the affidavit because she previously said she couldn't smell it?
No, I wouldn't expect her to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. Obviously, if you are congested, your ability to smell as easily could be, restricted. And so she, I think, did a great job of flushing that out on the stand. Well, it was going downwind, and when I was talking to her about the pre-instructions, I could smell it then. I agree, it's a little questionable, but it's possible.
Not arguing with the court. It's your job to determine credibility and what you believe. So there's a question mark there is all I'm saying. The misstatement specifically that I'm referring to in the case law is misscoring the field sobriety test. I think People v. Mullen is very clear. If you don't score it right, it's a false statement. It's got to be wiped from the affidavit. And again, they also ask you to deny for a misunderstanding of the law. In the people's response, there was no contradiction of the law that I cited. So I'm just going to assume they agree with me. They're conflating the search warrant with probable cause to arrest. They are two different things. And they also rely heavily on the PVT refusal. It's our argument that she has an absolute right to refuse a PVT. She correctly opined they can be inaccurate. We don't use them in trial for that very reason. I think it doesn't matter what I think, but it's a civil infraction, so the court's not going to look at it, but it's akin to the right to remain silent when you're being interviewed. You have no obligation to give the state any evidence. You don't have to cooperate with them. The testimony did show us a lot today. It's our contention that the video showed that she was not slurring her speech, and the issue over her child's name, that is something difficult to explain. There's a non-binary name change going on there. She was just in an accident. She admitted, and the officer testified that she was really shaken up while she was talking to the police.
Well, I think she admitted it to the officer. I noted that myself.
Correct.
She admitted, I'm extremely shaken up right now.
Right. And as Your Honor noted, people are nervous when they're talking to the police.
Did he just say non-binary name change? For real? Seriously?
Nervous when they're in a courtroom. It's natural. Well, we already talked about the sense of smell. The officer herself admitted that if those field sobriety tests were scored properly, they're indications of under a 0.08. So had they been scored properly, the inference is different. The walk-in turn, I think objectively, she failed that. I'm not going to argue with the court on that. Objectively, the clues say she failed it. There could have been a reason for it. Could have been her ankle. It could have been the uneven ground that she had previously moved.
I think we should just tack on a charge for the fact that she's got a daughter that is considered non-binary.
From and went back onto because there was a white line there. Again, that's
roadways were wet. It was inclement weather. It could have been a number of things, but those all create questions.
Correct. And then specifically, the field sobriety tests are scientific in nature. It's outlined in the manual. The officer read it. And that's why it's governed by MRE 702. If you don't administer them the same way every time, you don't count them the same way every time, they're unreliable. You can't just pick and choose other stuff and say, well, that's a clue, but it's not a clue. It's expert testimony. If you don't follow the formula, it doesn't work. Individually, all these issues may not be an issue. If it was just one statement here and it doesn't comport with the evidence, okay, we can overlook it. But cumulatively, it creates a false sense of intoxication for that magistrate that's reviewing the affidavit. So based on that testimony, we're asking you to strike all of the miscounted clues I can go through all those if court wants. I don't necessarily know that I want to waste your time. It's all in writing in front of you. Again, it's up to your decision on the smell. She had an explanation for that, so we're going to move on.
Even without the standardized bill of sobriety, you don't believe that there was sufficient probable cause based off her admission that just before then she was drinking Long Island iced tea?
No, Your Honor, it's not illegal to drink and then drive. It's illegal to be over 0.08. And
right, but we're looking for a probable cause, right, to see whether or not we, can get a search. And we have an accident. The officer asks you what happened. You don't really know. You were just driving, and all of a sudden you don't know what happened. And I do agree that there was moments where I felt like, although she probably could be shaken up because she had an accident, that she seemed to have lost some control. It was the moment on the video where she was specifically questioned about what happened, and she just goes into, I assume I missed, traffic, or, I was talking to my child. I don't really know. I'm extremely shaken up. She puts her hands to her head. It was like at that moment she's trying to grasp control, but you don't believe those were sufficient in conjunction with now you're telling the officer while all this is happening that you didn't have the ability to properly divide your attention because you're driving and you're talking, and all of a sudden you miss traffic. And then you were just drinking a Long Island iced tea, which if you drink, that's a lot of alcohol in it, within less than 2 hours prior to. And then I don't know if I have the same concerns about the name thing, because it sounds like there was a recent change, maybe. I'm not sure. So I don't know if I buy that was a concern. But that then taken into conjunction with let's give Officer Hyatt credibility in that she did in fact smell alcohol when she was giving some pre-instructions.
Well, Your Honor, I think after you take what I've argued out of that, you're at the De Bruin analysis, and we're arguing that there's not enough probable cause there and again, we're making two different arguments here.
Right.
Probable cause to arrest is one thing. And Your Honor, you're discussing everything for the arrest.
No, I'm talking about probable cause for search. She's for a search warrant, because if I get a search warrant, the same search warrant this magistrate signs could have went to me if I was on call that day. If I get a search warrant that there was an accident, that the officer smelled alcohol, and that the officer, that the person admitted to drinking, if I scratch all the other clues that we were miscalculated, and we leave the limited that you give credit to, you don't think that's sufficient for a search warrant?
No, it's not.
Okay. Okay, that's your argument. You can continue.
It is. And again, lastly, I just want to address the count 2, the reckless driving. Reckless, it's a willful and wanton action. They have to take on a known risk or ignore a known risk. Missing a stop sign, it can happen to anybody. She did say she was distracted by her child, who was by all accounts having a meltdown, and she was trying to deal with it. And then lastly, the good faith exception, based on the question marks that we have in the search warrant affidavit. Generally speaking, you can't rely on a good faith argument if the officer drafting the affidavit is relying on the search warrant. You can't claim good faith if they made the mistakes that led to that. But that is all. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any further argument from the people?
None.
There was a date set for preliminary examination and a motion to suppress the evidence. The burden at the time of preliminary examination is squarely upon the prosecutor. They have to establish that they have sufficient probable cause that felonies were committed and sufficient probable cause to charge you as the person who committed the felony. So this is not a trial. You don't have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. It's a very low burden of proof. It's just more than mere suspicion. The court is the only determiner of credibility at this portion of the prosecution stage. And I'll also weigh the likelihood of the people's success if this matter were to proceed to trial. And I essentially will obviously do that because I have a motion to suppress here. I think it's important to take the motion to suppress first. There was a motion to suppress the evidence and dismiss the case based on misstatements or perceived misstatements made by the swearing officer, that was Officer Hyatt. And your attorney has requested that I strike any miscounted clues. And then if that being making the affidavit insufficient, then thereby I would have to dismiss the case because there would not have been sufficient evidence presented at the time of the request for a search warrant to proceed with the search warrant. Again, I have a search warrant here where the officer reports to an incident of a 3-car accident on or about November 9th, 2025 at the area of MLK and Olds Avenue. That's in the city of Lansing, Ingham County. That would make venue appropriate in this court. The officers, Officer Hyatt, that is seems to be the one in charge of the investigation. Maybe she was the first officer there. She makes contact with, at least what I saw today, with a witness and or party to the accident, Stephanie Randall. She was involved in the accident. She stated she was driving. She glanced down momentarily at her speedometer and looked up only to be colliding or making a collision with the defendant. She said she suffered a severe tibia, I believe, injury. She's been unable to do much since the time of that injury. She says she was tearful, even as she was giving her testimony. It sounds like she currently is operating or moving around with a cane or with some other limitations. We then heard testimony from Officer Haven Hyatt. She's been an officer with the Lansing Police Department for about 2.5 years. She testified to being ARIDE certified and that she reported again on that date and time to the incident. And she noted 3 vehicles having been involved and that there was some injuries. When the body cam of Officer Hyatt was displayed, the officer, I think, asked everyone that she communicated with if they had any injuries. And specifically as it relates to the defendant in this matter, Jessica Bai, she did note or make some indicia of her ankle, but nothing to the effect of, I'm having some severe ankle pain, I can't walk, that sort of thing. And she was evaluated by paramedics, just like everyone else. And so as the investigation continued, again, as I indicated while I was questioning both of you all during your arguments, there was questions specifically about, can you tell me what happened? It was at that portion of the video. I don't know that I would, by viewing the video, again, I'm not getting the vantage point of the officer because I'm viewing it through a video who's being played through your computer now to my screen. I don't know that her speech appeared slurred to me, but I wasn't the person there. But I do believe that portions of her interaction with the officer struck me as some concern that I would have wanted to investigate it further too. And that was specifically when questioned about what happened. It seems like she was a little bit more collected in the beginning while she was standing off to the side with her daughter. But then when it came time to really discuss more detail of what could have happened, I don't know if it maybe struck her as, whoa, what did I do or what happened? And that may have just been an overwhelming of emotions, which could happen. Or it could be that when you're under the influence, you're less able to control yourself in your responses. In that instance, the response that I recall was the defendant stating that she just assumed she missed traffic. She was talking or having a communication with her child, and that may have distracted her. She began crying a little hysterically. She appeared to be trying to gather herself or collect herself while she's speaking, but she states, "I'm incredibly shooken up." She admitted to, when the officer asked her, "Have you been drinking?" She admitted to drinking a Long Island iced tea within the 2 hours prior to that, just not too far from the location where the incident took place. I would say it was probably about within a 2-mile radius of where the accident took place. And that the officer is then seen, Officer Hyatt is then seen having a conversation off-site about some concerns, requesting it, quite frankly, at this point, if anyone has a PBT. And it's then where the officer that she's speaking to asks her if she could smell alcohol. She discloses there, well, my sense of smell is off. He asked, was her speech slurred? And she says, well, she's talking like a typical girl who had a drink. That to me is not clear, which is why I specifically asked, well, what does that mean? In her testimony today, she says she used herself as an example. She's a girl. For the record, I'm a girl too. She's a girl, and when she drinks, her voice, she says, get a little more high pitched. I guess based off that and the nature in which the responses were coming from the subject at the time, it caused her to believe that she was under the influence. She states then on the record that she believed that the defendant's speech was slurred. Again, I didn't get that assessment watching the video, but I recognize that things don't always translate the same. The same way I recognize, even as you were playing the video while she was doing the walk and turns, different vantage point. This officer may have been able to see in person and or from a dash cam, if that was available, the defendant walking on her toes twice. I can admit that I probably saw it once, or what appeared to be her maybe stepping on a little bit on her toes. I didn't see it twice, but again, the vantage point is not the same. And there's a multitude of data that goes into, how we skew and weigh evidence when it comes to body cam because of that point. There's testimony about the defendant sharing that she has a scoliosis, that she has asthma, she has astigmatism, and I believe there was a concern about possible dyslexia in giving or receiving the instructions. I agree that the officer did not properly administer the SFSTs at every point. Do I believe that there was substantial compliance? I personally don't believe that there was substantial compliance. And that's, if I'm being frank, it's been an ongoing issue because of the lack of training. And this is a younger officer. She's only been here 2.5 years. I think that she did what she thought was substantial. But I don't know that her compliance rises to the level of substantial compliance. If I were to even remove, based off your motion, the information that is misscored, I think we still have probable cause, because I do think that the moment when she's directly questioned about what happened, the breakdown there, the officer's statement, albeit there is a question of fact there. Did she in fact smell? Because she's already stated on body cam that she couldn't smell, but then she later says she smells it later. That's possible. She could have smelled it later. She presented completely credibly inside the court. And so she could have smelled alcohol later. It's in the affidavit. I think that it's reasonable to believe that she could have smelled it when she had a later communication. If she got closer to her, then maybe she got before, or if the wind was blowing in a different direction. I think that the communication that she had with her, even while she was administering this SFSTs, also would cause someone to believe something's going on. And again, it could have been that she was nervous, but also could have been that she was under the influence. And so that, coupled in conjunction with an admission that I just drank, and an accident that we have, a 3-car accident where you can't tell me whether or not you blew the sign, or you don't know what happened. You were just talking, and next thing you know, you missed traffic. Something there rises to the level of concerning, and taken into totality with the other concerns that we have, I think that there was sufficient probable cause for a search warrant, regardless of pulling out miscounted clues. So with that, your motion to suppress is denied. The court also believes that there is sufficient probable cause based on the evidence presented today to bind over count 1 and count 2 to the circuit court for further prosecution. The bind over date is going to be May 20th. That's the date the circuit court receives the file from the district court. It is not a date that you, Ms. Vi, need to appear in court. Your next court date will be a pre-trial in the circuit court, and your attorney will be made aware of that date, okay?
Thank you.
You'll stay in communication and contact with your attorney. Ma'am, do you have any questions at this time?
Okay. I'm not allowed to say, am I allowed to say anything?
Well, you probably don't want to say anything that could be used against you, but this is your opportunity if you have any questions for me specifically.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Yeah, your attorney is here to ensure that you're not saying anything that can be used against you. And again, I told you this is a low standard, just more than mere suspicion, okay? Any additional matters for the record?
Some of the people, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
A bond will continue. You're all set.
Only kidding.
Sorry.
Now you're gonna cry. Where?
That was actually an interesting one for me. I've done a bunch of things with field sobriety tests, like videos. I've never administered a field sobriety test. I've never had one administered to me, thank God. But it was interesting to see that score thing. Like, I understand the field sobriety test, but it is all garbage. It's all subjective nonsense. Like, I get it. It's enough that you can see things that can create probable cause. I thought the attorney did a nice job trying to poke holes in it. Of course, he had some thin arguments. It's a DUI where your client announced they had a frickin' Long Island iced tea just before the accident. That's what he's walking into. He didn't make those facts. Those facts suck. And then he tried to polish that turd. And I think he did a nice job, but didn't quite get there. The real problem he had, ultimately, I think the judge did a nice job. It's also interesting because we ultimately get a blood test and it's an 09. Well, the limit is 08. So she isn't wasted. You know, and he does this, so he decides it's better to say maybe the test is wrong or off by a little bit. He tries to suppress the warrant and just get the blood out entirely. It's probably the right call, but I don't think he's got a snowball's chance in hell of getting her to suppress the warrant for the blood when she's got the victim, namely a woman who had an open fracture, who still has a cane. That seems strange to me. I mean, that's a horrible injury. Depends where it is. The way you fix it is open reduction, internal fixation. You have that procedure. Usually that I mean, from November to now, that thing should have been fused together. But you know, I don't know. I didn't get into the medical records deep. It depends where it is. It depends where the fracture and how it. But generally, that would fuse by now. But we also had a bone infection, which is horrible. I don't know. That one was not. That one was not particularly funny, but it was interesting. I've never seen that scoring makes. I didn't think much of field sobriety tests to begin with. I think even less of them now. It reminds me a lot of Waddell signs, where they look for behaviors of secondary gain when someone is at the doctor. That's all subjective nonsense as well. But it comes up. It comes up in every deposition in an injury case. But it's just something that it's not complete without merit. We're going to ask you a bunch of confusing crap, give you a list of quasi conflicting instructions, and make you perform like a circus monkey, and there's no way you can do it right. And then we sit there and grade it like it's like it's figure skating. It's just nonsense. It's nonsense. Give them a damn test. Take some blood. Now, of course, that's what they're trying to do. Ultimately, they're trying to get the probable cause to get it there. She was toast on two factors here. That's not exactly what the judge wanted to make a good record, which was smart of her. But these two factors, she admits to having a Long Island iced tea right beforehand on camera. And then you've got somebody with the mashed up leg crying on the witness stand because this woman blew a stop sign. There's no way you're suppressing that warrant. No way under those circumstances. And then this woman has the audacity to cry about it. I get you don't like the result, but again, I'm having a hard time caring when the other woman is walking around with a bad leg still. What was it? 6 months later now. All right, there you have it. All of you behave yourselves. Don't drink and drive. And if you do, don't call me. I don't do DUI defense. And I'm not going to bail you out.
No, that guy was Mitch Cumstein.